wondering if you guys actually enjoy treating your customers like a pieces of shit, because that's how I felt when I went to the Alamo Draft House. Okay? You know what? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to text in your little crappy-ass theater. It was too f***ing dark in that place for me to find my seat, alright? I was using my phone as a flashlight to get to my f***ing seat. So excuse me for using my phone in USA, United States of America, where you are free to text in a theater. I was not aware that I couldn't text in your theater, all right? I've texted in all the other theaters in Austin, and no one ever gave a fuck about what I was doing on my fucking phone, all right? And it was on silent. It wasn't on loud. It wasn't bothering anybody. You guys obviously were being assholes to me, and I'm sure that's what you do, you know, to rip people off. You take my money, and then you throw me out. You know, I will never be coming back to your Alamo Draft House or whatever. I'd rather go to a regular theater where people are actually polite. And, you know, I'm going to tell everyone about how you are. And I'm pretty sure you guys are being on purpose. So thanks for making me feel like a customer. Thanks for taking my money.
It's chocolate. You should be very proud, Detective.
Shut up.
You've made a delicious life for yourself.
Said shut the fudge up. What?
You don't come near here. You stay away from here.
Here he comes.
What?
Are you listening, David? I was saying how much I admire you and your ice creams. You have incredible taste in fine ice creams.
What the fudge did you just say?
6 delicious flavors. They're so lovely. And once they're gone, David, they're gone.
David, step away from the prisoner. Step away, David. Step away.
What's in the box?
I'm not gonna tell you until
What's in the box? What's in the box?
We each have our weaknesses. It appears that gluttony is my sin of choice. And you add the mystery. I couldn't resist.
What's in the malted fudging box?
It's empty, David. It's empty.
No. It was full. 6 delicious flavors. Only available this month.
I know. It was delivered to your home. It was delectable.
Do you think anybody's gonna get, like, offended by this?
Just tall white Karens.
The friend and a sister of ours, Lovern Gourdin, with her book, The Legacy He Left Me. We are looking absolutely forward to invite each and every one of you to her very, very special book signing and community resource sharing. Love, Spring, and Books gonna be an event for you. Make sure to mark your calendar. April 19. It is a Saturday at 3 o'clock here at Dr. Ellie Perry's Social Bookstore and Ice Cream Cafe. We are located at 278 Main Street in Brockton. We are the very first of its kind social impact bookstore and ice cream cafe aiming.
Monotony. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Dull, tedious, just plain boring. But what is this? A contender, perhaps? Something unboring by the looks of it. Jabs right at dull, an uppercut to tedium, something that keeps you on your toes, keeps your head on a swivel. a knockout punch to your old, boring workouts. Welcome to Fight Camp.
The Greening the Gateway Cities program provides trees that are planted by DCR foresters and crews hired from local communities. When you sign up as a potential tree recipient, a forester will visit your home or business to determine the best location and species of tree for maximum energy efficiency. Easy care instructions are provided, and it's all free. Find out if you're in the zone and learn more at maurbancanopy.org.
If we're honest, who wants to road less travel? It's harder to teach us. Who wants the difficult route?
If you support safety in our schools, you will support the National Guard to come in here and keep our students safe.
People say, these students have changed. These students are lazy.
Your children aren't learning disability, they lazy.
Get students engaged so they don't want to skip classes, they want to be in their classrooms.
There are teachers in this profession who should not be teachers. There are teachers in this profession who don't care about children.
These students don't want to learn. No, the adults have changed. See, the parents don't have the back of the teachers.
He ain't slow. He ain't got no learning problem. His parents didn't give him a foundation.
Young people as a nation, we sorely need the depth and breadth of your intelligence, character, and also your clarity.
Think about, in particular, the history of people that look like me who are getting cheated.
So if you're asking me right now as an educator, what's wrong with these kids? There's nothing wrong with them.
Teachers are the most important people in the world.
They're whimpering in fear, and we're sitting here scared of them.
Because if they get it right, they'll change the world because they're in charge of the most important resource, and that's our children.
Shaolin shadow boxing and the Wu-Tang sword style. If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
Same with you. Same with you.
met you, there was peace unknown. I set out to get you with a fine-tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of REITs Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to REITsAcrossAmerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's REITsAcrossAmerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
Hey guys, my name is James, but everybody calls me JJ. I'm 42 years old and I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. Achieving this milestone is huge for me because I have wasted a lot of years of my life. You know, I struggled with addiction for years. I've been in and out of incarceration. So as far as accomplishments and milestones go, I don't have too many. So accomplishing this for me is huge. I mean, it's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, and one of the things that I'm definitely the most proud of. Well, I had been thinking about getting my CDL for a while now, but as somebody who was released from prison not too long ago, the cost of the school was way more than I could afford. This program has given me a chance to build a career that I can actually support myself with and be proud of. It might take me a little bit longer than the average person to land a job because of my record, but I'm not going to give up. All I need is one person to say yes, and I'll be able to build on that and get some experience and go to the next level. Huge shout out to Emerge program and my two coaches, Cody and Eric. Why wouldn't you choose Emerge? I mean, not only do they pay for all the costs of the school and other costs such as, RMV fees, DOT fees. You may also be eligible to get a stipend at some point, but all that aside, just the level of support and encouragement is second to none. I mean, I can call or text my coach at almost any time of the day, and if he doesn't respond, he's getting back to me the next day. It's just reassuring to know you have people on your team that want to see you succeed. So I literally cannot think of one bad thing to say about Emerge, and I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in getting their CDL. I think that programs like this are monumental in reducing the amount of recidivism that we have in this country. People who have made a lot of mistakes but have done a complete 180 and changed their lives. And the things that I did in the past, that wasn't me. That's not the person that I am today. So I believe that people deserve second chances if they want to do the work and really want to change. And programs like this are huge because, especially if you're just getting released from incarceration, a lot of these things aren't feasible because of the costs. So when you give somebody this, hope and opportunity, it's huge, because if they really want to change, they're going to take it and run with it. So I hope that programs like this continue, because people deserve second chances, and I'm grateful. I'm super grateful.
Master Yoda I am. And listen you must to hoobazoo.com.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5. Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock. The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Like some motherfucking action heroes in it. Yeah.
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is
yeah.
Step into the twisted mind of my literature, designed to get into the depths of your mind, administer sickness around to mimic the likes of snuff cinema. What you must get into, you're nothing but pups. Remember you Homer and Happy Simpson, son. Nothing Ithaca. Talkers like the northern half of Korea's peninsula. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister.
All right, it's your boy Citizen One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. It is April 15th already. Tax season is pretty much almost over. Some people are getting some extensions, but we are already 4 months halfway through this year. Craziness, but I gotta give a big thanks to all my supporters. We see you. We see everybody tuning in from last week around the world. I want to thank my guests who were on last week. I got Veana Marie, who was on last week with me. She's returning this week because she's got something she's going to be talking about. And I also got to thank my man Noel Gourdin, who came on the show, held it down. 2 brand new singles from my man Noel. He's doing a good thing out there. He's now out there in Arizona, so you want to make sure to hold out and check him out and support him. Great music. Also on this show tonight, joining us later on will be Lovern Gourdin, Love Life Now Foundation. She will be here in Brockton for a book signing at Dr. Ellie Paris Ice Cream Shop and Book Parlor. Look, this is a big deal here. The fact that we have an ice cream parlor bookstore owned by a black woman who got a doctorate and hosting these events now, that just changes the mentality and what people think about the city of Brockton. So I'm going to do my best to talk all about this event because these are the positive things that this city needs to show off, and one of the things that Fox 25 needs to have their asses here for on this weekend. That's one of the things Channel 7 needs to have their asses here for on Sunday and Saturday for this event. But right now, let me get into my sponsors and I'll introduce my guest, Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics. If you have a controller that's drifting, you need it to be fixed, hit him up 24, 48 hours, and he'll get you set up and back to gaming with your controller repair. As you guys see in the bottom left-hand corner, recording artist Veana Marie, 494,000 streams. Let's get those streams up. Her last project, It's Personal, available now. She actually is nominated for Best Female Hip Hop Artist at this woman up in the upper left-hand corner, RemiTV Influencer Awards. We're going to be talking about that. And then Tactical Target Systems. Those are those targets you see me when I go to the range, those big, giant zombie targets, because I don't want to be Rick Grimes. I want to be somebody who's really going to survive real long in this zombie apocalypse. I don't want to be that black guy in the first 5 minutes. So Target, tacticaltargetsystems.com. My man Marlon Williams, I Love Boston Sports, black-owned business. Check him out. Those are those T-shirts right now. Pritch Please is the shirt for Peyton Pritchett that he put on last week. Good stuff. Support him. And then there's Veana Marie there again for Kimberly Ann Empowerment Photography. Ladies, if you want to take some photos that you never thought you would take, Kimberly Ann will get you in the mood. She'll put you in the right atmosphere to take these photos. Kimberly Ann Empowerment Photography. And then another black-owned business, Underwatch Protective Services. My man Daryl Smith. If you need any type of patrol, foot patrol, armed guards, unarmed guards, event security, and private security, please reach out to my man Daryl Smith, Underwatch Protective Services. And then if you need some handyman services around the house, call my man Larry, 774-826-6549, a childhood friend. He's been here all last week. And then we got my first guest on the show with me tonight, hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to let the guest from last week introduce herself. Bottom left-hand corner, let them know, V.
It's Veana Marie. I am back again. Good to see you.
And then
Am I introducing? Am I introducing our upper guest?
Yeah, go for it.
I would love to introduce Remi Jones from RemiTV.
Hey.
We've been trying to get her on the show for a minute.
I know. I made it though.
Yeah.
We're so happy to see you.
She's been on this show before, and we chopped it up a few times. She had, I forget who it was, she had an interview with way back. She came on the show, and we chopped it up. We talked about the things that go on in the industry. But she's got this big event coming up in Rhode Island at the PAC Center, the Providence Performance Center. It's going to be taking place Saturday night. I know we've been promoting it. I know we've been running the banner for a minute just to keep supporting and showing, our love and our support for this event. We've been running it at the end of the show and the beginning of the show. But Remi, thank you to coming on here. I'm so blessed to have you on here. And let's just talk about this event and who you got coming through.
Yeah, so the event is happening this Saturday, April 19th. It's going to be at the Providence Performing Arts Center. We have 702 that's going to be performing. We have the legendary Carl Thomas that's going to be performing. The award show came about because I kept going to all these galas in Rhode Island, and I was like, why is the same 7 people winning awards? I was like, something ain't right here. Hold on. So the next gala I went to, I said, wait a minute, that person got an award last week from that person. Now they're doing a gala and they gave it back to that person. I said, thumbs up. It's clicked up. So I said, I'm going to do something that's for the community, by the community. Look at my ring light falling. For the community, by the community. And the community chose the nominees and the community chose the winners. And that's what makes it super unique, is that I'm not the one that's saying that person is deserving. I want the community to choose. Because if I choose, I'm going to be just like them. It's going to be all my people. It's all my friends. So I just wanted to do something different and out of the box. So yeah, and ticket sales, they're going towards a charity. So all ticket sales are going towards a workforce development training program. So we're going to be teaching financial literacy, teaching people about government and politics, just in case they want to run into politics and things they can expect from it. We're going to be doing trucking and just a lot of dope things for people of color.
And
so April 19th.
You talk about charity and the importance, and right now, here's the thing, people. The importance of buying tickets like this to help charities is a humongous deal because, right now, this administration is cutting federal funding across the board for everything. And we're hearing this. We're here for schools, all that, grants, all that. So, you know, we just heard about here in Boston, the Pine Street Inn is losing 1.2, I think it was like $1 billion they're losing in federal funding because this present administration doesn't feel like nobody needs money in this country, I guess, other than the rich billionaires. So that's a whole nother topic later in the show. But that's kind of what's going on. So these organizations, they need the help. They need every little bit they can get. Like I said, all the food pantries right now across the country are being affected. They've lost huge amounts of money. Mental health foundations that were getting federal funding, that's all. It's tough. It's tough. So, you know, how did you pick those foundations for this event? Did you handpick or?
So it's through my nonprofit organization, RemiTV Nation, and I collaborated with the Rosa Parks Resource Center. So at the Rosa Parks Resource Center, they are allowing me to use the space to be able to conduct these programs so that we're able to do the financial literacy and teach the youth about banking, which is super important because they don't teach that in school, so that people can get their CDLs. So, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that want to go to college and there's a lot of people that don't want to go to college. So if you don't want to go to college, the trade is the next best thing for you. You know what I mean? So, you know, get into that CDL license. If you want to get into politics, you'll be able to do that. If you want to go into dental, you can do that because we're going to be collaborating with a lot of businesses in the city to make this happen and to make it a beautiful outcome.
Well, I got to hook you up because if you guys were watching this show before we went live, there was an ad on this show that runs before here. It's called Emerge Career Organization. Emerge Career, what this program does, if you just came out of jail and you have a record, they're now helping guys out of jail to set up, train, and get their CDLs. This is a great organization. Emerge Career is the name of the business organization. As I said, you know, we need this. Because there's an attack on hurting this community. Everybody's community attacks on that. When you talk about this Rosa Parks Foundation and you know, they're already eliminating DEI and things of that sort. And again, that's a whole nother, that we could spend an hour on that topic about trying to raise Black history. But no, I'm glad. Anything you want to add to that, V, on that?
No, I mean, you guys covered it.
Nice. Now, why did you pick the Providence Pack?
So I had a certain vision. I had a certain look that I had in my brain. You know, when you just have something bubbling in here and you don't know how to express it. In my mind, I kept thinking elegancy, classiness. I didn't want to have it at some local pub or some local place. I said, when I think of something like the BET Awards, where would I want the BET Awards at? I would think the P-Pack because the way that it looks inside, the gold panels, I can picture people in there wearing their gowns, their tuxedos, their suits. I want people to feel like they're going to a place to dress up because we don't really have it. We don't have a lot of these events happening only at galas. So there's a difference between what I'm doing and what other people are doing because it's an award show. You're sitting down and you're enjoying a concert as well.
Nice. So we got some people in the
that
chat.
Was my vision.
Felicia in the chat is watching. She says, hello, Veana, Remi, and Keith. What's up going on, Felicia? We got Margaret
Felicia.
in the chat. What's going on, Margaret? Good stuff in the chat. And you locked down some big performers that are coming through. 702, where my girls at? Come on. Come on. Where my girls at?
I'm really excited to have them. Yeah, I'm really excited to have them and to hear the hits. Yeah.
You know how you are in the club. You got a couple of drinks in you, and then you hear that piano. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, come on, Bart. Come on. You know it's on when that hits. Come on, bros.
People are gonna be singing at the top of their lungs, and I'm gonna be yodeling because I can't sing. So mine is gonna be a yodel and not really a singer voice.
I think this is great because, like she said, like we don't get a lot of opportunities to show out like the celebrities that we look up to. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times when you do get these red carpet events, they're at small venues, they're at small clubs, they're not at a place like the Strand, or you know what I mean. And you're lucky if you can get tickets to a BET Awards or any of these, you know, major award shows. So for somebody to take the time and energy to put back into the artists, you know, I appreciate you. I'm sure that the other artists really appreciate you, but this is something that is really impactful for New England. You know, I'm a Massachusetts artist. You know, you live in Rhode Island. A lot of the things that a lot of the people that are doing the presenting and the performing are from the Rhode Island area.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of Rhode Island artists. This is a great opportunity for me to come from Massachusetts, be at an event that's appropriate for me, and for me to get to know artists that are from other areas. You're bringing states together, and that's a big deal. It should be recognized. So kudos to you.
And you know, there's a lot of people from Boston that's nominated. I really wanted this to be a New England award show. I know that the name is the RemiTV Influencer Award show, but I am going to be changing that to the New England Award show. I just wanted to get through the first annual, and obviously this is our tester, right? We're going to test out who's supporting, who's not supporting, what are the likes, what are the dislikes, and see what we can do for next time so that more people can enjoy it. And it's just the feedback, you know what I mean? This is just the first one. So I just want to see how everybody feels about it. And it's crazy because the galas are charging $100 per ticket. And it's like $800 per table at their event. The RemiTV Influencer Award show, the tickets start at $25. So you're getting in for $25. You get to see two dope artists from their time, and while celebrating unsung heroes in our community and giving them their flowers.
Yep. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
You know, yeah. So everybody gets to see greatness and history making it happen, because this is the first award show of its kind in the state of Rhode Island. It's never been done before. So I'm looking for everybody.
I'm excited for you for that.
I'm gonna let people know something right now. It is historic, because you know why it's historic? Because I'm gonna be there on Saturday night with Veana Marie, and you know why it's historic? Because WrestleMania 41 is this weekend, and you know Sinister One never misses his WrestleMania. But I'm missing night one. I'm gonna have to watch night one when I come home after this event, because I'm gonna be at this event live. I'll be pulling up. We'll be there on Saturday night to show our support, and that's how important it is to make sure to be out there and support this event. So you've actually been working on this event for the last couple of years or so. What's the best thing you've learned from this, and what's the worst thing you've learned from this?
The best thing I learned from this is to have a team, because I thought that I was Superwoman. Not to say that I'm not, but with this type of event, that a venue that holds 3,100 people, I'm not Kevin Hart. I know I'm not selling out 3,100 people. I just wanted people to feel like celebrities for the night, because you guys are important to me. So therefore, yeah, you're celebrities in my eyes. So yeah, we're going to go out and turn up and have a good time. But the important thing is, for me, next time I need to have a team. They need to be reliable. I've been through a lot of stuff where people said they was going to help me and they was unreliable, and it left me stuck with a list of like 500 things to do. So creating this award show for 2 years has made me like physically sick. I had got hyperthyroidism for being overly stressed, overworked, not sleeping, because I had so many things on the list, and because I had so many unreliable people around me and didn't have a team. And it led me to have to postpone the award show for a whole nother year, and fighting with the doctors, talking to my friends about it. And they're like, you're going to have to cancel it. And I'm going, nah, I'm not. I'm in a hospital bed, literally with my laptop like this, making moves, trying to get sponsors, trying to get this, trying to get that. I was not trying to cancel it for nothing. I had no choice, because my doctor was like, if you don't, you can have a heart attack. There's no way that you're trying to do an event and you're sick and you're 104 pounds. There's no way. So I lost a ton of weight, and I'm already a slim person. At 120 pounds is my weight. So for me to go from 120 pounds with being already a slim frame person to going down to 104, I look like the Crypt Keeper. And I was willing to do it no matter what. matter what I look like. I said, I'm still walking the carpet like this. I don't care. I want to get it done.
Last thing you want to be is collapsing on the carpet.
Yeah.
Health first.
Health first. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, right? So, and some of the best parts of this event is learning that a lot of these people is nominated for the first time for anything in their entire lives. That's crazy to me. And it just goes to show you that it's because it's the same several people winning awards at these galas, and they're not involving other people because they want to continue to be the head honchos. That stops with me, and that stopped with the RemiTV Award show. So yeah, these people are nominated for the first time in their lives for anything. They could put that on their resume. Mm-hmm. They're going to leave with something. And I'm giving you an exclusive because all the nominees are leaving with something. It's a surprise, but they're all leaving with something. They're not leaving empty-handed. It's something that they could put on their resumes. It's something that is credible.
Felicia's in the chat. She's asking, is there a way to donate to your cause online?
Yeah, so if you want to reach me through my email, it's RemiTVmedia@gmail.com. And that's Remi with an I. I know there's a lot of people that like Remi with a Y, but it's Remi with an I. And you can reach me there, and I can talk to you directly.
Don't
and you know what we've been doing too?
I'm dropping it in the chat for you right now. Here we go.
Thank you. And you know what we've been doing? There's a lot of people that told me that, because as you know, and as you said, this whole Trump administration situation, people are not able to get food. People told me that they couldn't afford a $25 ticket. And we have donated so far. Yesterday, when I made the announcement, over 26 tickets to people who told me they couldn't afford it. So her name was Alicia. Alicia, if you want to donate to anybody who can't afford to purchase tickets, I will directly put your donation to people who can't afford tickets, because I want everybody there.
There you go.
That's amazing.
She's watching, so I'm pretty sure she heard that. So, Alicia, if you're listening, if you want to buy a couple of tickets and then she can donate those tickets, that'd be great. That'd be great. Anybody else?
I'm giving away a $150 ticket tonight. That's the front row. You're gonna be able to smell what Carl Thomas ate 10 minutes before he comes out. That's how close you're gonna be. So I'm gonna go on Facebook Live tonight. Be giving away a ticket, 2 tickets for $150.
There you go, people. There you go, people. Jump on board. Make sure to follow her live. This is great stuff. And, you know, as we said, you know, we've got all these people nominated, but down here, again, in the left-hand corner, Veana Marie is actually nominated for Best Female Hip-Hop Artist for her project. V, you want to talk about this? Because you're going to be there on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like she said, a lot of this was community based. So, you know, being nominated was a surprise to me. My new project is called Blacklisted. So it wasn't too long after the It's Personal project that I felt, you know, blacklisted. So it's really nice to get recognition for your hard work and, you know, the stuff that you're out here writing and producing and putting out. I am so beyond excited because I've never been to an award show like this. You know what I mean? And honestly, because of the kind of artist I am, I hadn't really expected it. I don't really expect too much from, you know, from what we were discussing before we got on air. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the scene gets to be so, it's just so too much that you just want to just be the artist and just be in the studio and just release music and not have to worry about PR or making appearances and being out around other people. You know, it can be stifling. I feel like social media has drawn our fan base to a point where they feel like they're so close to us that they have personal access to us. And sometimes that can be draining for a creative. You know what I mean? For a performer, for somebody who doesn't necessarily write all their own music and you know, is doing this because they enjoy being on stage and they enjoy the attention, I think that's different. But for a creative, it can be a lot. It can be very overwhelming. And that's why you'll find me withdrawing and isolating and going into writing mode where I'm just, you know, I'm writing projects. You know what I mean? I'm not like your average artist that's dropping a new song every single week. And I love artists like that. I love looking for new stuff. but creating is a personal thing. So when you are a creator and you think that because how you do things is so weird and maybe even outdated, you know, it's nice when people recognize the work that you put in. So that's why I was, you know, pleasantly surprised and, you know, extremely happy. I did my, you know, I feel like my first professional blog interview with you, Remi. And, you know, it was so well written and, you know, I loved the fact that you are out here, you know, helping other artists get on a, you know, bigger platform. Local is important. You have to establish a local fan base. But the issue with a local fan base is a lot of the times it derives of your friends and family that have known you your entire life. And they can't stop seeing you for that person. And it doesn't matter how much you try to grow and evolve into something else. It's very difficult for them to see you that way. So then they feel resentment when you leave to try to establish your brand somewhere else, like you abandoned them, when they just don't understand that, you know, as artists, as creatives, we need you to view the art. There's an art to making music. It's not just all gimmick like it has become. You know what I mean? So it's important for me. I feel like there's a lot of art lost these days. I love the fact that Carl Thomas is coming. I was just watching him on live down south at, you know, one of my other friends' events that he was singing live at. And it looked like it was an amazing event. And, you know, to hear raw vocals through that microphone instead of listening to auto-tuned, you know, computerized vocals, where every time I go to any studio, I hear, oh, well, they're always using autotune on everybody's vocals. That is so disheartening to me. Like, nobody really wants to put the work in to sound good. They just want to leave it to the computer to do it for them. And this is one of those things where people are really, it's the community that's saying, this is who we like. This is what we're vibing to. People call it a popularity contest all the time, but you know what? If that's the case, I've spent the last almost 10 years beating the pavement to build up my brand. So if we're talking about popularity, then yeah, that makes sense. I am a
there's been a lot of
recognizable
people that said
person.
that. Yeah, there's been a lot of people that said that with me too, that it's a popularity contest. But I also feel like because of the type of event that I'm doing and because of the buzz been happening and because where it's at, I feel like people are blowing down on me more. And it kind of sucks because if you want to talk about popularity contests, go talk about the gala that chose those the same several community leaders that won last year that are popular. This is my first one. So I feel like people don't know how to be there emotionally. They don't know how to emotionally support, physically support. And it's sad that, you know, I just happen to be a target. I feel like it's a yes and a no when it comes to popularity because people are still going to be surprised about who won.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they see a group, so there's 18 categories. We're going to stop there. 18 categories. There's over 100 nominees. So how is it a popularity contest when there's over 100 nominees? Not all the popular people are nominated.
Right.
It's a mix.
Well, so here's where the breakdown comes in. If we're talking about it was the community that got it. So say, and this is just hypothetical. Say I went to 50 people and I said, look, I'm doing this thing. They're voting for me. I'm going to give you all X amount of money. Go and vote for me. This is what they're talking about. But you have to also understand that most of your local artists, we're broke. We're broke. We're working 9 to 5s. We're barely making it. You know what I mean? So there's no way that a lot of us have that opportunity to go out there and get troves of people to come for us. So guess what else it's based off of? It's based off of who is got the, you know, whose personality is kicking at the moment, who's happiest with everybody at the moment. You know what I mean? So people are going to always speculate what it is. But at the end of the day, usually the people that didn't make the list are the ones making the most noise.
Yeah.
And if you didn't make the list, think about why you didn't make the list. And then
also
look at the people who did make the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at a lot of the
like
people that are on that list have been in circulation for over 7, 8, 10 Years.
Yeah, and you can't say that they don't deserve to be on it just because you're mad that you didn't make the list. If anything, you didn't post and share when the process went up because you thought you was too good and you thought that you didn't have to post nothing, that people just automatically gonna put you in there because you're you. You did it to yourself because you're not as dope as what you thought you was. And I told that to a lot of the people that was mad that they wasn't nominated. You think you're doper than what you are. And everybody's supposed to think that they're fire. Everybody thinks they're supposed to be the king, and everybody thinks they're supposed to be the queen. But the reality of it is, if you see an opportunity that may be good for you, apply. Tell your friends to vote for you. Do it. Instead of being mad at the person who's putting it together. Because my only job as a person who's empathetic to the artists in Rhode Island, to the Black businesses in Rhode Island, my only job was to create the platform. And I did that. I created 2 platforms. I did RemiTV, which is the television show. And then I created the award show. Don't get mad at me because you're not nominated. My only job here on earth was to create something to uplift other people. And I did that.
I think that people just didn't, they don't want to believe that they couldn't possibly have made the list. Like that's how big their egos get. And it's just, you know, unfortunately it is what it is. You can feel how you want to feel at the end of the day. If you don't show up to show support, you're basically showing why you didn't make the list in the first place.
Right. Yeah. Because don't do it when it's beneficial. I don't show up for people when it's beneficial. If I show up, it's because I had the time to show up. I put something to the side to show up. I did what I could to show up. And my name doesn't have to be on it. My face doesn't have to be on a flyer. I don't have to be on a mic to show up for you.
Absolutely.
That's the problem with people today. I had an artist, and I'm not going to blow your spot up yet, but I literally had an artist that said, well, I'm not going to share the flyer because I'm not performing. That's your problem. And that's why you're not elevating, because you're just in your mindset. It's your mindset. Wow. There's a lot of funny mindsets out here, and that's why people are not growing, and that's why people are not elevating in their career.
Because we all know that New England has been the hardest place to jump out of, and you know, you can't really lump New York into New England. That's a whole different market all by itself. So New England is I think hard based on the fact that it just feels like there is always a crab in the barrel trying to get ahead by doing just all the wrong things and making all the wrong moves and making it difficult for everybody else. I think there are also a lot of gatekeepers in New England that need to, you know, hang it up, because we got a lot of other people coming up. We have a lot of people that have been prevented from coming up because they're only shedding light on who's paying them to shed light on, or you know, who's they're vibing with at the moment. I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been beating the pavement in New England for almost 10 years now. So at the end of the day, if I have to leave New England again, because I ended up coming back to New England because I had made the name for myself down south. You know, they loved me down there. They're begging me to come back. I got friends that are begging me to come back there. And, you know, sometimes this New England mentality of always trying to one up, or I'm better than this and I'm better. Who cares? Who cares who's better? Matter. We all have art. Let's
that's called pocket watching anyway. That's called pocket watching anyways. Why are you so focused on what Tyrone is doing that you procrastinated on an email that you were supposed to send out to this person because you're feeling like, oh, this person's doing better than me, and now you're gossiping about that person? The problem is, stop watching me. Handle your business. So if you're handling your business at night when everybody's sleeping, you're going to keep growing, because all those little wins count. It makes it a big win. I started RemiTV 6 years ago, and people are wondering, how did I get from here to here in 6 years? And they've been doing this for 20 years. It's because I don't sleep and I'm not worried about you.
Girl, yes.
And that's the problem.
Chris Gagney's in the chat. Chris Gagney says, what's up? Felicia says, Veana has worked so hard, she deserves this. And, you know, I got to bite my lip because I know there was somebody that was out there on social media about 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to start no stuff, but this person was on social media talking about all this stuff about Boston and the Boston rap scene mentality and blah, 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 when this person is guilty of being one of the gatekeepers who wasn't letting people come up back in the day. And you also left Boston to go get your money elsewhere, and you didn't come back here to put anybody on. But I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to keep quiet.
There's somebody like that in Rhode Island right now. I have that. Whoever your Boston person is, we have that in Rhode Island right now. There's somebody that's a gatekeeper and does the same exact thing and says the opposite, and they're calling the kettle black. It's like, come on, you're that person. What are you talking about? And those be the ones that be on Facebook writing the statuses, and I'm like, you're that. What are you talking
about? We're actually at 7:33. I'm gonna leave. I got to go a little bit over because I do have a question, Remi. You've been out here grinding, and a lot of people don't know. You've been interviewing a lot of people. You've been out there grinding and talking to a lot of people and interviewing. And I just got to ask you some questions because you got your ear to the grind, entertainment, and all this stuff. And this past weekend, people, Coachella has become one of the biggest effing events every year. This is where people bring part of their tour that they're going to kick off. And this year, Meg Thee Stallion comes out to Coachella, and she brings out Queen Latifah and Ciara in her set. Meg Thee Stallion Missy Elliott comes out in a whole Transformers robotic suit at Coachella. Lady Gaga comes out, and they said puts on a 3-hour performance that nobody sat down, and she even came out and sang with her little monster fans. Coachella is turned into this must-see event, yet it doesn't really get talked about every year. It's so strange that you really don't get that build-up. But then when it hits, it is a social media monster. What are your thoughts on these performances, you guys?
Listen, those performances were super dope. I haven't been to not one Coachella, but listen, next year I definitely want to go. And it's a lot of talent in one room, and it's real performances. It's dancing. It's all types of things in a gumbo. It's not just Black performance. It's white performers. It's everything mixed in a gumbo, and I love it. I love all types of music. So I think that festival is fire.
And it's funny you say that because there was a time where Black performers really weren't at Coachella. You know what I'm saying? And then as they started mixing that in, Coachella has really grown into this. Okay, now we got a melting pot of artists coming in here.
That's because the old heads are dying off. Respectfully, disrespectfully.
Well,
we got the new people coming into the spots now that they belong in there.
People forget that Coachella is a blend of music and fashion. It's, one of those opportunities where, you saw the choreographed sets that they put on. That stuff you don't just throw together in a couple of weeks. They've been working on that all for probably half the year for that performance. So there's no buildup needed. Coachella needs no advertisement. Everybody knows whoever knows about Coachella knows when it's happening. They're getting their emails. They don't need to advertise for it. They're already selling.
V, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You muted yourself.
I thought it was my phone. I have to look.
No. Hey, hold on. I'm
While she's coming back on.
I'm unmuted.
Yeah, you're right about it needs no advertisement.
Yeah, not at all.
It's like Chinese food. They don't need no commercial.
No. And these women, they just keep bringing it every single year. It's not like here's the difference between having male rappers headline and having female rappers headline. The reason why they're doing it is because when a female rapper headlines nowadays, they're not just walking back and forth across the stage with their homeboys. These women are putting on an entire stage show while rapping. That was not done before Cardi B, before, you know what I mean? Like, these are complete choreographed numbers. You know what I mean? Like, they are putting on an amazing show. When you go see Jay-Z perform, what are you watching most of the time? You're not watching dancers on stage. You're watching him walk back and forth on stage. Sometimes you're watching other people on stage. The reason why women are killing it is because they can put on a better stage show. Women have always been able to put on a better stage show. Everybody wants to watch us.
I agree with that.
Than one woman
I agree with that. And if you go to if there's males, most likely you're gonna leave with some water splashed on you, and your outfit's gonna be tore up.
Lady Gaga came out. Lady Gaga came out in a 3-story dress, and all of her dancers were inside the dress. That shit was crazy.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Like, that is crazy. Like, can we say meat dress? It brings me right back to meat dress. Like, every time she does something like that, it brings me right back to the first time I seen her in the freaking meat dress. She's always outdoing herself, and she's not afraid to do it. Whereas some creatives like myself are so intimidated by stuff like that. You're like, oh my God, people are going to look at you. Like, she's completely unafraid to be that person. And she don't care about half of the hating comments that are going to be in talking about how she was weird for wearing a dress like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's great stuff to see it. And I applaud it. And like I said, bringing Queen Latifah out in your set. We haven't seen Queen Latifah in a minute, so that just lets you know the power that Meg Thee Stallion has, to bring that powerhouse, out on stage with her. That was just craziness. So good stuff. Coachella was just killing it. It was great to see, and hopefully we see you there next year, Remi. That'd be awesome to see you broadcasting and going live from there. That would be
the only reason why I haven't is because I'm like, can I withstand the heat? I don't know. I need 3 fans. It's hot. Do I want to really go? I don't know. We'll see next year.
And all them people too. There's a lot of people there.
A lot of body heat, a lot of smellies. I don't know. I might need a one-on-one at the hotel.
I'm just saying. Sometimes watching it on TV is better.
We should go, but we gotta go out there with cooler backpacks on or something.
I'm gonna get one of them tents that's like a hotel.
Yeah.
Set that shit up, but air conditioning in there.
Yep, something, because it's hot out there. I'm telling you right now, they're sweating out there.
All right. I got to get my next guest to get ready to come on here, but we got to go around the horn, let these people tell their socials. I'm going to start with Veana Marie. Let them know how they can follow you. Get your socials out there.
Get me on Facebook right now. I'm on a huge campaign push for my social media. So go and follow me there if you're not following me already. Go check me out on VeanaMarie.com. I've got a podcast series coming out in June called The V Spot. Look forward to that. It's going to be a podcast series on relationships, basically kind of set up kind of like Last Night's Conversation. If you're not familiar, they just completely blew up. They were a long-running relationship podcast panel show, and they have broke down.
Uh-oh. She muted herself.
She's muted again. Oh, that's the ghost.
We're gonna be doing Studio V, which is going to be a one-on-one interview show with artists, basically talking about their lyrical content and stories behind their music. I'm always interested in where artists come up with their music and, what stories they're telling, if they're telling stories or if they're telling other people's stories, because perception is so important. But that's basically what's going on right now. And RemiTV Awards, you can catch me there on Saturday.
Yep. Remi, let them know to remind them where they got to be at tonight to win those tickets too.
Okay, listen, hit me up on Facebook Live, most likely right after this show right here. We're giving away 2 tickets to the RemiTV Influencer Awards show. Carl Thomas, 702. You're going to be right in the front. They're worth $150. You're going to be able to smell what he ate 10 minutes prior before coming out on stage. You can follow me on Instagram at RemiTV Official. If you want to donate, if you want to help some people who can't afford tickets, please reach out to me through email, which is RemiTVmedia@gmail.com.
All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and checking this out. I got Lovern Gourdin coming up. Very, very important person. Love Life Now Foundation for Domestic Violence Awareness. She's going to be coming on here, and we're going to take a quick break. I got to thank everybody who's in the chat. Please stay in the chat. It's great stuff. We're going to be right back. Here's a commercial break, and we'll be back with more Booth after this. Here we go.
Flame made that beat. I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches they hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine, but your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, it was easy. If only I made it, keep this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak ass hoes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that ish, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that ish, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out. These hoes, they know I'm on, it's my show. I know I'm better, Gucci sweater, Louis V, my bros. I chose this road, cause I know I'm cold. I'm on the level you can't handle, you can't steal this flow. I swear I want people to feel me, but I don't care if they don't, cause this is the real me. How can I give up? Ain't it's not enough to make them stop what I'm saying. And I gotta hit now for these weak ass hoes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
See, I'm really getting tired of you. Wanna do everything but tell the truth. They be sleeping on me really when I'm in the booth. Sensational, yes, tasteful, insatiable, my name, baby. Come on, girl, let me drive you crazy. Done fighting, I wanna go tonight. So what's up tonight? I'm all dressed in white. I don't snort the white, but we can blow the green. Reconcile the new money team. Sophisticated, so it may look mean. I'm all about my cream, trying to chase my dream.
Watching the booth, and you know, my first guest is on with me right now, and she's been on this show before. You know, she brings a lot to the table. She brings a lot of information to the table, and sometimes we talk about some things that are uncomfortable that people should be talking about. If it makes you, if it makes you feel uncomfortable talking about, guess what? We done our job. That's how I feel. We done our job, because it's going to make you leave this show, and it's going to make you think about that uncomfortableness that we made you feel, and maybe you'll do something about it, or take action against it, or support that cause. So I'm gonna let my lady over here introduce herself and the foundation that she supports.
Thank you, Keith. So I am Lovern Gourdin, and I'm the president and founder of an organization called Love Life Now Foundation that promotes year-round awareness around domestic violence. So I'm so incredibly honored that you asked us back to talk about, really, as you said, some uncomfortable issues surrounding relationships. All the ships is what I should say. So yeah, thank you for having us back, Keith.
No, you know, I originally had you on to promote this book fair signing that you've got coming up. For those who don't know, here in Brockton, Dr. Ellie Paris Social Bookstore and Ice Cream Cafe has opened up, and I really want this place to succeed, because it's something different in the community. It's something that's bringing, you know, people together. I see on Sundays now they're doing this thing with Sunday crepes, and for those who know me, for those who know Sinister One, I'm a big crepe guy. I can't really eat pancakes because I had weight loss surgery a while back, so thick pancakes don't work for me. So I'm a big crepe guy. So to see that every Sunday now there, I'm gonna check that out. But you're gonna be there on this Saturday, the 19th. And it's the Love Spring and book signing, and you're going to be signing copies of your book. So let's talk about this book that you're going to be there signing.
Yeah, so the book is called The Legacy He Left Me, and it's been around for 3 years at this point, but has been on a nationwide tour. But we've only done a couple of book signings in Massachusetts. Everywhere else has been across the country, and just really making sure that people understand the dynamics, which is what the book is about, the dynamics behind domestic violence, what it can look like to be a child witnessing, or, in growing up in the Caribbean around this issue, and then going on to become an adult, that then perpetuates the issue, whether is as a victim or as an abuser. And so the book really gives the behind the scenes about what this issue entails. And again, only had a couple of book signings here in Massachusetts, so we were due for another one. And when Dr. Ellie Paris's bookstore opened up, we were like, it's a natural synergy to be able to partner and have this event there, but not just a book signing event, but really to get people involved around what it looks like to have healthy relationships. So, the title of the event is Love, Spring, and Books, but we're really trying to get people sort of excited about spring, which seems to be coming around the corner. We don't know with this Massachusetts weather. We'll see for Saturday how it holds up. But really getting people involved and, excited about spring, and also what it looks like to be in healthy relationships and new beginnings after you've come out from an abusive relationship, which is often really hard. So we want to dissect that a little bit. We want to have some fun. We want to eat some crepes. And we want to support the bookstore that's really doing a phenomenal job in Brockton.
It's great to see, it's something different. I know that there is on the intersection of Montello and Center Street, in the apartment complex there on the bottom floor, they host art events and stuff and paint and sips, and they've been doing pretty well for themselves too. I myself have been doing the first Friday karaoke's at Brockton Beer Company, which has now kind of transformed itself into this family-friendly event. When we first started it, we thought it was going to be, adults coming around and having a few cocktails and then getting up on the microphone and doing some singing. And what we're seeing is that we're seeing mothers and fathers and daughters and sons come out, and some of these kids are part of the Brockton High Drama Club, and they're utilizing this platform to practice singing show tunes and things of that stuff, or getting over fears of performing in public.
Yeah.
And together, and I'm loving it because I'm like, wow, this is transforming to where we've got young people and adults and families coming in, and this is exactly what Brockton needs, to change that reputation of the city itself. So really good to see businesses and things of this sort come into Brockton and bring a better name to the city. So it's great stuff.
Absolutely.
So this book signing is on April 19th. Definitely want to make sure people come out and get involved. But there are some things I really wanted to talk to you about, and it's tough because I'm bringing you on here, and I really don't want to bring the discussion of politics into this show tonight, but I have to because you're a nonprofit, and right now the funding is under attack under this administration when it comes to nonprofits. We're seeing nonprofits fall apart and now pull up, and they're done because they're not going to be able to survive because they've got their funding cut off. I deal with Oxfam. Oxfam is losing a ton of funding. Pine Street Inn in Boston just said they're losing like 1.3 billion that they're going to lose in funding through these cuts. How does someone like you, you're just getting that ball, you just started out, you're just getting this ball going, and you're seeing it on both sides. Not only are you going to see it from these events that you're throwing, but you're also going to see women in DV programs where they're losing funding and now wait for housing, things of that sort. Are you already starting to see the worries and concerns in your industry with this?
Yeah, so I will say this. So we've been around for going on 14 years at this point. And a lot of that has been because we bootstrapped, or we just, did a lot with a little. Okay, so that's one. We've really begun to hit our stride within the last 3 or 4 years. obviously, any sort of funding we receive is crucial. Because we've only begun to hit our stride within the last 3 to 4 years, that means we have not dealt into the area of federal funding, which is what is being affected, those types of grants that folks receive sort of on a higher and bigger level. We have been getting by with private foundations, grants, and funding, as well as the generous donations from the general public. Now, as you mentioned, the domestic violence shelters that are run by domestic violence agencies, they receive federal funding. And so the ripple effect that we see, because what we are primarily focused on at Love Life Now is prevention and awareness around this issue. We want to make sure people are in the know about what the resources are before they get to a DV, right? Not a DV setup, so a police station, a hospital, where they can then point them in the right direction for help. We don't want that to be the case. We want people to be in the know beforehand. But then we are passing folks on to domestic violence agencies like Family and Community Resources in Brockton, like Health Imperatives, which focuses on sexual assault and domestic violence. And so when those folks are impacted, that means that shelters are not necessarily available because they don't have funding to continue the shelter per se, or programs like counseling, one-on-one advocacy, all the things that they provide. And so that means that we don't have somewhere to send folks to. Now people are now relying on something like our Get Safe Fund, which helps with up to $350 for a domestic violence related expense. And a lot of the times we're being referred by hospitals, police refer to us, DTA refers to us. They're now referring to us because of an influx of no shelter space. So you see, it's all sort of this whole rigmarole and ripple effect that these types of cuts affect. So certainly we obviously are going and have been seeing the effects of that, because more people are needing emergency hotel stays, which is one of the things that we cover. More people are needing essential needs, clothing, toiletries, food, all the things that they had to leave behind when they're fleeing abuse. More people are in need of transportation, so emergency flights, emergency transportation with Ubers or a train ride to get to safety. And more people are in need of partial rent assistance. So, the abuser used to pay, the rent, now they're locked up, or they're just struggling immediately because of what's happened to them because of an attack. So again, the ripple effect goes top to bottom, right? And we're definitely seeing the effects of that, for sure.
That was my concern, because, you're a nonprofit, and like you just said, the stuff gets filtered down to you. And, like I said, a lot of these DV shelters, they get their money from the feds or from the state. And, when you saw these cuts coming across the board, and you have an administration who thinks that nonprofits should be raking in profits, with what they did with the Kennedy Center. And I saw the lady that runs the Kennedy Center say, we're a nonprofit. We ain't supposed to have a budget. We ain't supposed to have money in our pockets. We're not supposed to be in the black. It's a nonprofit. So to come in and think, oh, this place is horrible because they don't make any money. Well, it's nonprofit. That's exactly
That's
how
not the way it works. Right.
Exactly. So that mentality of that administration is crazy. It's sad to see that. What can people do to help out if they wanted to help out? If you guys are getting this influx, what are the things that you need? What are the things that these DV shelters need? What is it that they can help with?
Yeah, so absolutely. So a lot of the times when folks are coming in, things that are not necessarily funded by or through grants or folks coming into shelter are sort of the immediate care package that someone needs. So as I talked about essential needs that, we could help someone with immediately when they're in transition from leaving an abusive situation and going into shelter, they're going to need that immediate basket that they receive when they enter shelter. So shelters are always on the lookout for we do the bedding drive every October where we ask folks to donate a new twin sheet and or pillow. So those types of items where are something that's personal to that survivor, that pillow and that sheet that they lie down on, finally being safe from abuse, that is something that is always needed and is not necessarily funded. Toiletries, my gosh, new toiletries, shampoo, soap, deodorant, all the things that get you through the day, those are things that are needed always. Food items, gift cards to stores. You talk about Brockton, you have Vincente's, you have people that are culturally specific, needing culturally specific items, a gift card to Vincente's, Market Basket, all of these types of things go a long way for shelters and folks that are in residents there. For us, we go out and we meet the homeless where they're at. And the intent there is to make sure that we're meeting victims of abuse on the street where they're at, right? So while we're serving everybody with, toiletries and a brown bag lunch, we really want to get to the heart of where survivors are and then give them the resources that they may not necessarily know about. So with that, we are always in need of things on our Amazon wish list, which you can find on our website at lovelifenow.org. But things like, again, all the toiletries that I just talked about, bar soap, travel size, lotion, deodorant, feminine hygiene products. These are all the things that women need on the streets. Men need socks, right? Women need socks. That's a big, huge ask everywhere we go. And it doesn't matter what season, winter, sometimes guys are using the socks as gloves, right? If there's no gloves available, obviously winter, we're going on and we're giving out gloves. But if there's none, they're saying, hey, you got gloves? We can use them as gloves. And then in the summer, obviously, they'll just use them with the slippers that they have, right? For extra protection. So that's a big, huge need. So it takes, a lot of the times people think it takes so much to do so much. And it really takes a little. The little that you give, and it doesn't necessarily have to be giving a nonprofit money. It can be your time and volunteering, assembling those bags with us. Actually, on April 26th, we have our spring quarter homeless brown bag and care, so people can meet us up in Avon Town Hall and come help us assemble these bags. And then we go out to Brockton, right? This time we're giving right around the L Street Mission to be able to help folks with, these bags that I talked about. And so it doesn't take a lot. It's your time, it's your volunteerism, it's your, whatever you have in your house that you deem, and always think about this. If you're giving something to a shelter, it can't be just the sort of the rummage that you have in your backyard. It has to be something that if you were in shelter, how would it make you feel in receiving it? You know what I mean? Because you've left everything that you have behind. So just think along those lines. And if you can spare, $10 for 3 packs of toiletries, that's it. That's creating a ripple effect for somebody that has nothing. So, just always thinking along those lines in terms of how you can give or how you can be a part of the solution is really where it's at.
You know what? It's funny. I'm thinking about something now, and I'm thinking about something that could really help out. And maybe I might come up with this as maybe like a crazy TikTok. People who are on TikTok, and maybe a challenge.
Yeah.
So I know people. A lot of people have what they call as these shopping cards, or you get these rewards. So I know for me, I shop at Shaw's. I get my points, and I get my rewards.
Right.
I'll get my free stuff from time to time, but maybe we should think about creating some type of challenge for the month where people, when you go to the supermarket, you say, okay, this month, everything that I get for free through my rewards points, I'm going to donate to Love Life Now Foundation. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that.
So
Yeah.
instead of me going there and getting my free toilet paper and bringing it home for this month, I'll take that free reward, and I'm going to take that free reward. That's not, and it's going into this.
Yeah. Legit.
Sometimes you get all these free points on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you put that challenge out there. Maybe I'll start that. Maybe that's something I'll do that, and then maybe we can get that. Maybe pick a month that we can
October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Is that your
right?
month? Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what a great way to be able to not just raise awareness, but actually affect us of survivors in that very direct way to be able to help. Yeah, I love that idea.
For people to do. Go to Shaw's, you go into your Market Basket app, you go into whatever app you have and get your rewards for that month of October.
Yeah.
And catch them in, and then you could pick a place where people could drop that stuff off or whatever. Or I think that would be a great idea for something like that.
I absolutely love that idea.
Because people always have that excuse, well, I really don't have the money. Well, you do, because you built up these rewards. So it's not really costing you anything for 1 month. You can build your rewards back up and get the free stuff on the other months. But maybe in October we donate that. You know what? That's something I'll probably talk with you off air. We've got a few months.
I love it.
And let's kind of get that. I would love to get that going.
I love it.
That's something that's easy, brainless.
Yes.
And in other stores, there's so many stores out there. There's so many stores out there.
Yeah.
I know McDonald's and stuff, you can turn in your rewards for Dunkin' Donuts gift cards and things of that sort. So in October, get the Dunkin' Donuts gift card, because somebody may want that. That coffee might be soothing to somebody. That simple cup of coffee.
That part. And imagine living in shelter, right? You have left everything that that is innate to you, and now have to start all over again. And when we take for granted, when we do the Adopt a Family drive so that's another way, right? The Adopt a Family drive that asks folks to pick a family and fulfill their wish lists, right? When you think about wish lists for the holiday season, you're thinking, oh, they probably want, XYZ. But it's the very bare minimum things that families are asking for when they're in DV shelter or any shelter, right? So a robe, slippers, an iron, a curling iron. I mean, all the things that we have and take for granted, these are things that folks are literally in need of to get by, to make their days semi-easier. And yeah, it breaks my heart. The kids, they'll want a doll, right? Because they left their doll behind, or, a pair of sneakers because they don't have one anymore. It breaks my heart, because it's just things that you and I would absolutely, and I know for a fact, take for granted, right? Because we have it. We have the luxury of staying in our homes and being safe. But I know what that's like, right? I'm not being safe. And although I didn't end up in shelter after I escaped abuse, I certainly understand, after volunteering there, what it looks like to be on that end. And it's not easy. It simply is not easy. Those kids, while kids are resilient, they have experienced or witnessed something tragic that happened to their mother, right? Or they didn't see it, but they had to leave anyway, right? No fault of their own, because of what's taken place. And so it's again, as much as you're creating a ripple effect by being part of the solution, it's a ripple effect for these families when they have to be uprooted and, just be displaced, like during the holiday season. So thank you for that, sort of thoughtless, not thoughtless. It's anything but thoughtless. And it's for your selflessness in that way to want to help it.
Yeah, it is. We're coming up on our time here. We got a few minutes left. And I want to talk about two things. First of all, you've got this event I want to mention, August 7th, the first Pro-Am race. Talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so the Pro-Am for DV Awareness is coming up on August 7th, and it's a brand new event that we're putting on. It's officially called the Celebrity Pro-Am Race for DV Awareness. We're going to have 12 celebrities that 12 general public folks are going to race against, and it's an indoor kart racing facility at Supercharged Entertainment in Rentham. And so we have nailed down so far 2 celebrities. It's very early, and these folks' schedules, like, it's fly by the wind of their pants. So we've been able to nail down 2 celebrities so far and working on more. So Chad Coleman, who was on The Walking Dead in the past, The Wire, HBO's The Wire, the Superman and Lewis series. Those are just some of the things that he's known for. So he's going to be flying in. And then locally, we have Amaka Ubaka from Channel 7 News, who's going to be hosting. So we're really excited about what the lineup is potentially looking like. And we are well on our way to sort of having a great lineup for people to come and, mingle. And, if you're VIP and if you're racing, you get to meet celebrities and, take photos and be in space with them and race against them. And then if you're the general public and just general admission, you're definitely coming. You're going to see them. You're going to see the race, right? And there's, just a lot of things happening at Supercharged. If you've never been to Supercharged, you need to just go, right? It's 2 floors of, you can literally spend a day there. And over the years, they have revamped that space where there's virtual reality on the first floor, axe throwing, there's the kart racing, there's a restaurant, there's so much. Then on the top floor, you got this ninja wipeout warrior type of setting. And then the obstacle course, right? And then, trampoline and all this, and then bumper cars. It's just an amazing facility. And I typically bring our sunshine there, who's 11, and he could literally, and I could just sit back and just have him enjoy a full day of things. So, and adults too, right? So let me just preface that adults can do the things too. So come on August 7th. It's going to be a phenomenal day. Even if you're just coming as general admission, I promise and guarantee you're going to be like, whoop. We even have like this amazing, I'm not into cars, but one of our committee members is getting this sort of type of Ferrari type car to be just there that you could take pictures next to. Like, it's gonna be wild, right? So it's gonna be worth your while to come on August 7th. So please join us.
So I think
it's all to raise awareness around domestic violence as well.
So I also produce a NASCAR racing show. We cover all the racing. So that's on August 7th, but I think I'm going to try to book you for Drafting the Circuits race show to kind of talk about this awareness. And I'll try to see about maybe getting you on in July for that. I'll send you some information off air. And before, I know you're going to get at it, but we got to close out. The last time I had you on, we had a very serious tragedy. We had a young girl, 13 years old, who was in a domestic violence relationship with an older man who she had no business being involved with. He ended up taking her life the day before her 8th grade graduation. And then just recently here in Brockton, we just have this kid, Davinci Leonard, who's now on the hunt, who shot a 15-year-old male and an 18-year-old girl. And the rumor is that he was actually dating this young girl.
Mm-hmm.
When we always talk with you on this show, we always talk about wives and older women. Does Love Life Now help teens who may be in domestic violence situations? Because I don't think we've ever touched base on that.
That's a very good question, and absolutely yes. So we are brought in by organizations, companies, high schools, colleges to present teen domestic violence, and universities and colleges to present teens and young adults dating violence awareness workshops. So absolutely yes. And it's so funny because somebody semi-connected to what had happened to this poor beautiful girl reached out to us and said, hey, do you guys do teen DV workshop? And I said, absolutely yes, we go wherever we're called. But in Brockton, I know Family and Community Resources, they're tasked with putting on workshops as well as health imperatives. So, it's the thing is, Keith, with this issue, if a teen has never heard that what you're experiencing or what you're seeing in your home or what's happening around you is wrong, They never have the intellect to understand that, oh my gosh, I should divert or even start to put doubt in your mind that this is normal. So that's what we do. These awareness workshops are not for just kicks and giggles, right? We were brought in by, oh my gosh, the Boston Student Area Council group, after school group, and we presented to that group. And I can tell you, boys and girls, boys sort of went off with one of our board members to hear more from him, and then the girls stayed with myself. And when we all came back together, I can tell you succinctly, and this is not abnormal, at least 4 to 5 teens said, me too, I've gone through this and now I want to get help. Or my mom is going through it, or my sister, you see. And so again, it's just presenting the topic to folks as much as possible. 1 in every 3 teens are affected by domestic violence. Unfortunately, this case ended up tragic. But that's not what we want. We want folks to be in the know. This is why awareness is so important. Talking about this issue, you having and creating space for this issue, it's so important, because you never know who it's going to resonate with, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, me too, or gosh, I never knew, or I need to figure out how to get help going forward. So thank you for bringing that up. It's insane that it ended up that way. We did reach out to the family, to the mom specifically, and, you know, said that we could help with, you know, towards, you know, the Get Safe Fund could help with our max towards the funeral. And so it's gut wrenching. She responded. She was so grateful, but you know, it's going to take a lot more going forward. That's just the beginning of what her journey looks like now as a survivor, right? Having to mourn the loss of her daughter. But you know, this issue goes on every single day in high schools, and it's when things like this happen, you're like, oh, now we're thinking about it. But no, this is what we need. I don't understand at this point why it's not part of the curriculum. Sex ed is great, but then, you know, you're not talking about what leads to sex. You're not talking about the relationship. You know, it's not and what happens after, right? So it's just, it's disheartening to me that at this point in this year, 2025, that, you know, domestic violence or dating abuse or any one of anything, sexual assault, none of it is part of the curriculum, and it should be. So that's my take on that. It's tragic all around.
And before we get out of here real quick, could you just remember to let people know that domestic abuse doesn't have to be physical?
Absolutely. Across the board, there are so many different ways that people are coercively controlled, right? So you hear the term domestic violence, but at the core, it's coercive control. It's navigating, how can I control this person, have dominion over this person, their physical being, their financial being. So financial abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. So, you know, the mind games that somebody might be playing with you, that is abuse, right? So they're gaslighting you day in and day out. Hey, I didn't say that. Hey, I want you to do this, but I didn't tell you to do that, right? And so it's just flipping your reality into making you think that you're crazy. So, you know, there are many different forms of abuse. And please understand that if you, at the very core, if your gut is saying, this doesn't feel right, if your gut is saying, this isn't what I grew up on, if your gut is saying, this is what I did grow up on, but I don't think it should be, question that. And start to really think about what you want for the future. This person has been able to cross your boundaries. And now that they crossed your boundaries, how do you navigate getting back to the business of yourself? How do you get it back to creating those boundaries again? And maybe you don't know how to do that. And that's where domestic violence agencies come in. They offer free counseling that can help you unravel and unlearn all the things that you know, sort of put you in the place of being a victim. And the same way if you're an abuser, if you're listening to this, there are programs out there for you. I know one called Emerge, right here in Massachusetts, that deals with abusers who want to unlearn those behaviors that they learned growing up, let's say from their father, watching them beat their mother, and that's the only way they know how to show love, or the way that they talk down to their mother, and that's the only way to know how to get respect. There are absolutely programs available for you too. And you're welcome to come and find out more about it. Tap us for resources. And same way, if you're a victim, tap us for resources too. We are here for you. Lovelifenow.org.
Nice. Another great time with Lovern Gourdin. You know, we could talk for hours on this.
Sometimes you have so many layers, Keith. Yep, so yes,
so
4
many
hours.
Layers, and there's some things going on TikTok that I'm not happy with, but I'm not going to bring that up because that's a whole nother hour if I bring that up.
Yeah.
There's some stuff on there that people don't realize is it's normalizing toxic relationships.
Absolutely.
Some of this stuff you see on TikTok is not funny.
No.
These are toxic relationships.
Absolutely.
Toxic relationships. And, that's, like I said, let's get off that. That's
we can go down that rabbit hole for sure. Yeah.
That's a whole nother hour. We can really be here. So I got to thank you, Lovern, for coming on here. Again, don't forget, April 19th, Love Spring and book signing. That's going to be at Dr. Ellie Paris Social Bookstore here in Brockton. And then again, August 7th, Supercharge Entertainment, which is right down the road in Rentham. That's going to be a great event, August 7th. And I'm going to try to get you on Drafting the Circuits to talk about that with the guys on there.
I love it.
It's great stuff. And again, I love to have you on here. I feel like I'm giving back when I have you on here. So
thank you.
It's a very serious discussion to have from time to time.
And necessary. So again, thank you for creating space.
No problem. Anytime. So your boy, since what we're going to do is going to take a quick break. Going to be back with more Booth after this. Thank you, Lovern, for coming on.
My heart. Thank you.
All right, your boy, since we're back here broadcasting live from the City of Champions, I want to thank those guests that were just on. I got to thank Veana Marie for coming on the show, and Remi of RemiTV for coming on the show. Check them out. Also, Lovern Gourdin, thank you for coming on the show. 3 great guests. We are at 8:19. Actually ran a little bit over. I got to blow out. I got to blow out these topics. And actually, there is no turnbuckles and spilt liquor. If you're going to be looking for turnbuckles and spilt liquor tonight, Kevin Jeffries just got back from his cruise today with his wife. So tomorrow night at 9:30, turnbuckles and spilt liquor will be on at 9:30 following Drafting the Circuits tomorrow night. We will be live for both shows. And look, tomorrow night we're breaking down WrestleMania 41. We are breaking it down, our predictions and everything. So make sure to tune in tomorrow, 9:30 after Drafting the Circuits. But we got to get into the show today. Let's get into, we didn't even start the show, so let's get into the news booth. In the news booth, hey, Davinci Leonard, still out there. Let's go, people. Turn him in. Let's go. There's a lot of rumors out there on the street. There's a lot of rumors out there on the street. Streets is talking. Streets are saying he shaved all his hair off. That's the word on the street. Streets are saying he shaved all his hair off. So just imagine that picture right there without any hair. Turn him in. Ladies, if you got him in your house because you think he's the man, he's taking care of you, no, turn him in. Because if the cops come banging in your door, guess what? Conspiracy. You going in for the murder charge. You gonna get held down, ladies. So if you hold them and hide them and feed them McDonald's and Wendy's and whatever, you going to jail too. And you're gonna lose your kids if you got kids. So turn him in. Turn his ass in. Also in the news booth, childhood dead. Edaville Railroad is done. They started shipping out the train that's been there for many, many years. That's been a staple in the New England area for holiday seasons. Thanksgiving hits, you were young, and you started planning that trip to Edaville Railroad. If you didn't go to Edaville Railroad, you went to La Salette. It was one or the other. you know? It was one or the other. And most of us, we were going to Edaville Railroad to ride that train, drink your hot cocoa and stuff, and they had a little family theme park. So it's really sad to see something of this nature from my childhood. Man, that's right up there with King's Castle Land. I'm dating myself right now. Lincoln Park and Paragon Park and Rocky Point. I probably just dated the F out myself right now. I probably just dated the F out by myself by talking about them places that are now closed. That is this is it. Edaville Railroad closing is that's almost it. I think the only thing left from my childhood, I would have to say, is New Hampshire. The Santa Park that's up in New Hampshire. But other than that, that's it. Oh, Canopy Lake. Canopy Lake is still here. That's part of my childhood. Canopy Lake Park is still up in New Hampshire, so that's still left. Water Country actually came as I was older. So that Water Country really wasn't part of my childhood. Water Country and all those water parks started around the time that I was a teenager and just started driving. That's about it. Yeah. Felicia said, love me some King's Castle Land. My dad would take us to King's Castle Land, and if we always behaved in King's Castle Land because my dad was like, look, if you behaved at King's Castle Land, you went right down the street to the Toll House and got the fresh, hot chocolate chip cookies. If you behaved so it was like a win-win. You went to an amusement park, you behaved, you had a good old time, and your dad said, hey, it's time to go. You ran to the car. Because you knew you was going to Toll House. And if we weren't going to Toll House, if it was really, really hot, we passed the Toll House and we went to get the ice cream at Peaceful Meadows. So yeah, that was it as a family. So yeah, Edaville Railroad is done. They started selling that stuff off, but that's actually going to be the site. Edaville Railroad is going to be now the site of the King's Richard Fair. So that's going to be great. Toys R Us was next door, yes, which is now Stop and Shop. Yep, correct. Also in the news booth, the President Trump administration has frozen $2 billion in federal funding because Harvard University is rejecting Trump's executive order to eliminate DEI from their program, from Harvard University's curriculum. They said, no, we're not removing it. And Trump returned and responded by getting rid of $2 billion in funding. So they turned around and I guess they've got this plan that they're going to do. So it's going to get interesting as these schools across the country, as these states across the country, he asked for it. He said they should operate on their own. Remember that? Remember when he said that? When it came down to abortions? They should be able to do their own stuff. Remember that? All right, let's get into the entertainment booth. In the entertainment booth, August 28th, Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. The reunion is taking place. Extreme will be performing. Come on now. See, here's the thing. I have a good friend I grew up with. Kelsey. A good friend of mine. I grew up with Kelsey. And Kelsey dated the brother of one of the members of Extreme. So we used to see Extreme all the time growing up. We knew what type of music Extreme played. We knew what type of music that everybody was going to the clubs to see Extreme perform. And, that whole album, Porno Graffiti, came out. And unfortunately for Extreme, it was the era of the ballads. And More Than Words was the release off that album, and Extreme blew up into the stratosphere. The problem with that was that wasn't really the type of music Extreme was playing. They were a real hardcore metal band. Nuno was one of the best guitarists. Gary Sharon was one of the best vocalists out there. And when people went to see them play, they were like, whoa. After More Than Words blew up on MTV, everybody was like, whoa. And I hate to say it, but More Than Words was like a good curse. You know what I'm saying? It was like it blew them up, but at the same time, it killed them. It killed them. And, you know, but they all went on to do things. Gary Sharon went on to Broadway. Nuno Betancourt went on to play guitar on Janet Jackson's Black Cat album, which was insane. When Janet came here that year for her tour, Nuno was on stage to do the Black Cat riff with her. So it was great to see all that. So again, Extreme, August 28th, Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. There's going to be a lot of heads up there for this one. A lot of heads. I actually got to see if Kelsey's going to be heading up there. So we're going to see. That's actually my only story in the entertainment booth, because I got to get into the sports booth. We're at 8:27. Big congrats to MattieC Sports. MattieC completed the 13.1 half marathon Unplugged in Vermont this past weekend. There he is again at the finish line with his daughter. Big ups to MattieC Sports. You know, the marathon, Boston Marathon, is on Monday. And, you know, that's our goal. You know, Matty hasn't been doing his show. Matty has been doing this thing where he's been training. He's been running these marathons. He's been scoring personal bests. And we love it. We're here to support Matty and put our hands together. I personally co-produced Matty's show, and I know if you saw me last week at Cape Cod Community College speaking with, you know, potential podcasters, you know, one of the things I told them is that you have to be consistent. And I use Matty as an excuse, though, where you have an exception. And, you know, I explained to them, I said, you have to be consistent when you're doing your podcast. But in the case of with Matty and what Matty's doing, I said, hey, bring your running into your show and start going live and talking about your training and all this stuff that you're doing so you can lead up to this. Because we want Matty, me, and everybody else here at Sinister One Productions, Travis and all of us, Dougie, all of us, Veana, we all want, Kevin Jeffries, we all want to see Matty in the Boston Marathon next year. He's saying no, but, you know, the more running he does and the more things he does and accomplishes it, we are hoping to be there and see him next year at the Boston Marathon. That's what this is all about. Hopefully he gets kind of inspired by those who he'll see run on Monday. And I actually just hit him up and let him know, hey, Jordan's Furniture is doing a little 5K. But that's a good name for yourself, Matty. So let's see. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Matty, MattieC Sports. And big ups, everybody. Follow him. Help him out. MattieC Sports. Every race he does for a cause. So he picks a cause for every race. So big ups to MattieC for completing that. Also in the sports booth, the Celtics won their final regular season game. They close off the season with a 61-21 record. The playoffs begin on Sunday. My man Peyton Pritchard held it down. Big scorer in the game. Pritch, please, man. Stop it. Stop it. And also in the Big Three returns this season, guess what? They've added 8 teams to the Big Three. And Boston has a team. The Boston Ball Hogs, I believe the first game is coming off the break. The first game here is going to be, I believe, is July 13th, which is after their bye week. But after the bye week, they're coming off, they're going to have their games here. And the big thing about the Big Three is that when you buy a ticket, you get your ticket covers you for all the games. So there's multiple games played that day. But if you buy the ticket, you're there for all the games. So you want to make sure to check it out. There's if you go on the website, the new team announcement is there. The new coach announcements are there. And the schedule is there for the 2025. So make sure to go out there, show some support for the Big Three. And, you know, it's a great, it's a different type of basketball. I got to get Marcel. I got to see about getting Marcel on the show so we can talk about the Big Three. Now let's get into the legal booth. In the legal booth, man, you can be red, you can be blue, you can be independent. But when you start crossing the lines of violence, it's not right. Either or. It's not right either or. And I don't condone any violence against any politician of any side. And these two legal top stories coming out the gate are those such stories. Teen was just charged with killing his parents, and he had also was planning to attempt to assassinate President Trump. This young kid. So he's being charged with killing his parents and had plans to assassinate President Trump. And then in the same week, a suspect was captured. He was actually in a hospital for mental health issues. Suspect in arson in Pennsylvania. He tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house, which would have been tragic if the police didn't know this, and knocked on the door and got him and his family out of the house, which is crazy. The weird thing is that governors, senators, and all these people, back during COVID, a lot of these people were having armed security outside their houses. So I'm kind of wondering how this happened. I thought a guy like Governor Shapiro would have had, security outside his house. I don't know, but they did catch this man. His mother is now gone public, and she is out there saying that she actually had been asking for help for days. Long before this, she'd been asking for help. He wasn't taking his prescribed meds that he was supposed to be taking. And here it is again. The mental health issue is back at the forefront within this country. It's a sad thing. So, I really want to make sure we address this issue because it's not being addressed. And it's crazy that, Governor Shapiro and his family were able to get out of the house. Also in the legal booth here in Boston, the floodgates are open. Tania Fernandez Anderson, Boston councilwoman, she has pled guilty, and this was something that nobody was expecting here. I'm going to table this for First Tuesdays because this is going to be a big deal. There are a lot of people tied up into this, so it's going to be interesting to see maybe if she cuts some type of deal or something. Maybe she's about to really, so there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I'm going to hold off and save it for First Tuesdays when Ken comes on the show and see kind of what he's hearing in Boston councilwoman Fernandez pleading guilty. Also in the legal booth, DOJ attorney was placed on leave after telling a judge that a Maryland man should not have been placed or deported. As you guys know, this is a big story. We talked about this on the show. The DOJ attorney wasn't given all the proper information, and when the judges questioned him about it, he said, hey, I wasn't given this information, and he felt that Kilmar Abrego Garcia should have never been deported because they didn't have proof or evidence that there was reason for him to be deported. He didn't receive due process. So now Pam Bondi, they placed this DOJ attorney on leave because he doesn't want to ruin his career. He doesn't want to lie for MAGA. Yet they punished him. And then what happens is next is that a judge, and one of those judges is a Trump-appointed Texas judge, they ruled to block the Deportations Act under the Aliens Enemy Act. This is how they've been snatching people up and getting these people to where they need to get them. They're saying that they fall under the Alien Enemies Act. And once the military is involved in transport, they don't have to answer to anybody. They don't have to bring people back, blah, 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 blah. So that's the next step. So these two judges ruled to block those deportations. Okay? So you got to just pay attention to judges now. Okay? And like I said, these is a Texas Trump-appointed judge. So all these people who are on my page and all this stuff about Democratic judges, you're wrong. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all be wishful thinking too much. So then, to make matters even more interesting, the Supreme Court got together, spoke and voted on this, and it was a 9-0 vote. Supreme Court, SCOTUS, 9-0 vote. And the Supreme Court says, hey, y'all got to get this man back. You all got to get Kilmar Abrego Garcia back. He's innocent. He should have never went. And here's the issue. Tom Homan and Trump, they all admitted that they made a mistake, a paperwork error. We messed up. Okay. You get him back. So what happened was that I watched this on C-SPAN. This was after the Supreme Court says, hey, get him back. You had 48 hours to get this guy back, and you didn't get him back. Why? So now the Supreme Court says, hey, get him back. So what happens is that 24 hours pass, and Garcia isn't back in this country yet. What happens is it starts this discussion in court and on the floor of the House and the Senate that the reason why he ain't coming back is he's dead. Now, this rumor started in the floor and the halls of the House and the Senate and SCOTUS. This is what people are starting to think behind closed doors at this top level. Now the rumor, it's leaked. The rumor is now leaked out there on, I think it's Saturday night, that this man is dead. That's the rumor. The rumor is that there's a possibility that this man is dead. So what happens? The first thing is done. Well, the first thing they do, Speaker Johnson comes out and passes a bill restricting district court judges from issuing nationwide injunctions. So in other words, if you're in a district and you have an injunction, that injunction can't go nationwide, which is now handcuffing judges who are making great decisions using common sense in this country. But now what it's going to do is it's only going to restrict their decision to their district, their state. See what I'm saying? So see the slippery shit that they pulled with this one. And then what happens is on Saturday morning, let's get into the Trump troubles. First thing on Saturday morning, what do? Trump administration delivers a friggin' statement. Says, hey, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is alive. We have knowings of where he is, and he's alive. And that's it. That's all they're saying. They're saying we know he's alive, he's alive. But again, he's still not back here. You've been told by SCOTUS he's got to come back here. Well, the DOJ releases a statement, and the DOJ says, well, we're not listening to SCOTUS. We don't have to listen to SCOTUS. That's what the DOJ is saying. We're listening to the president's executive order. Now, Trump had said that he was going to respect SCOTUS's order and vote, 9-0 vote, and he said he was going to facilitate it. Then he turns around 24 hours later and he backtracks. Then he goes and he brings the El Salvadorian president to the White House, who runs who oversees and watches over this max prison. And it's kind of funny that you see the El Salvadorian president here with Trump when just 4 years ago, President Trump was calling El Salvador, Haiti, I forget what other, but remember that? Shithole country. Remember that? Remember when Trump was calling El Salvador a shithole country? Those were his exact words. Don't be mad at me for saying it. That's a quote. That's a quote. But then the El Salvadorian president comes in. He's all buddy and chummy. But he says, I'm not returning Garcia. It's not my job to return Garcia. What am I supposed to do? Smuggle him back into the U.S.? Which was kind of funny. And that was kind of shade. But I'm seeing a lot of people out there saying, oh, he was connected to MS. No, he wasn't. The Skip Clays, the William Kevins, all y'all people who come on my page and speak all this nonsense. He wasn't part of MS-13. MS-13, that's in El Salvador, what they do in these countries is when you're young, they try to get you in these gangs at a young age. They force you. These cartels in El Salvador, in Mexico, all of these countries like this, they get you young and force you into this life. And if you don't do what they ask, sometimes you end up dead. And Mr. Garcia was in that situation where you either join us or you're not. You either join us or you're dead. And he fled here. As a young man, he fled here to better his life. And he came here. He had his visa. He was legally here. He was in the smart apprentice program for the National American Builders Trade Union. Well, guess what? Pay attention to this video, because this past weekend, I think it was Friday or Thursday, but the NABTU president, Sean McGarvey, spoke. Sean McGarvey spoke. Let me give you this video real quick, and you tell me what you notice in this video.
We need to make our voices heard. We're not red, we're not blue. We're the building trades, the backbone of America. You want to build a $5 billion data center? Want more six-figure careers with healthcare, retirement, and no college debt? You don't call Elon Musk, you call us. North America's building trades unions. And yeah, that means all of us, including our brother, Smart Apprentice, Kilmar Arbrega Garcia, who we demand to be returned to us and his family now. Bring him home.
All right, you saw that at the end, right? You saw that at the end, right? You know what that was? It's a wake-up call. That's the base. That's part of the base that got Trump in, even though it was the Black and Latino vote that really got him really in. But that's that base. White male, 35 to 50. You are now flipping that base because you broke your promise. You're now sending people who, and here's the craziness of this, and I'm going to get into the craziness of this whole effing thing right now. You grab this guy, you know, because originally you said we were going to take all these people who had a criminal record. We all got no problem with that. You want to take criminals, go right ahead. But guess what? The numbers were low. Tom Homan's numbers were low. And now you're snatching innocent people without due process off the streets. You're snatching kids off the streets. ICE snatched up a guy in court here in Somerville last week. That's an absolute no-no. Ken already told you all on this show. Ken, a defense attorney, an immigration attorney. Ken already said they ain't supposed to be entering courthouses. They ain't supposed to be entering schools and churches and snatching people up. These guys are going into schools and they're lying. These ICE agents are lying and saying, yeah, the parents want us to get the kid out of school. Knowing damn well they're lying. Now, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, people. ICE agents, you know what ICE agents are? ICE agents are nothing more than a bunch of bozos who couldn't cut it as cops, Capitol Police officers, state police, or military. ICE are nothing more than law enforcement rejects. ICE agents are nothing more than the Isle of Misfit Toys in the federal government. I'm just telling it like it is. These are pretty much, and you see it in the videos. You see it, if you're watching any of these ICE videos of them arresting people, apprehending people, or holding people, look at it. Look at them. They're a fucking clown show. They're a clown show. And it's the whitest bunch of characters that I've ever seen. You snatching up all these people of color to send them back to their country. And it's probably, I ain't gonna say what it really looks like, because you can go back to the 50s with black people, and you can go back to I'm not even gonna get into it. But again, NABTU President Sean McGarvey, that was him speaking out on wanting that return of Mr. Garcia. And big things, pay attention. And then on Friday, the lies get even deeper. The White House releases a statement. Let me get this picture for you. The White House releases a statement because President Trump had his physical. And Kaylee had the nerve to get up there and say, President Trump had his physical, he's healthy at 6'3", 272 pounds. Let me give you guys a close-up. If if President Trump was really what they said, this is what President Trump would be. And with the first pick of the 2025 NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select President 45, Donald J. Trump. The numbers that they gave for his health statistics, people. This is what they said.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Stop lying. Oh, y'all be doing the most. Y'all be lying. You all be lying. Stop it. Oh, man. Oh, man. And then the MAGA outrage continues. Why? He's losing a lot of MAGA people. The tariff thing, the flip-flopping, you now killing everybody's 401ks. A lot of MAGA people I see out here, man, fuck around and find out. You don't hear me drop the F-bomb there. Fuck around and find out. Y'all vote them in. Now y'all mad because your 401ks are taking that big hit. Middle America, farmers, all y'all mad because you losing illegal aliens. you losing workers, hotels losing workers left and right. Here is where it gets absolutely insane. And I'm laughing because most of you MAGA nitwits on my page, most of you MAGA bums on my page have had this narrative about illegal immigrants in this country and stealing jobs and risking this and risking that and blah, blah, blah. Well, now that the tariffs are going to hit, now that people ain't going to be able to do the jobs because things like, let's see here, China says, guess what? We're not going to export any beef from the U.S. And guess what happens? Australia jumped right in there. Australia's like, hey, we'll take that $2.6 billion. We'll take that 2.6, Australia says. F the U.S. So we just lost $2.6 billion a year in the beef industry. And it's about to get real crazy. Look, and now Trump is talking about these jobs coming back to America and all this stuff. And guess what? Nobody wants to work these jobs you talking about, bro. Nobody wants to work these jobs. So then Trump, after the stocks start crashing, and he says, well, let me rethink this here. And this is what he came up with. Pay attention. This shit is comical. Watch.
So they can lay on it as well.
And we're going to work with people so that if they go out in a nice way and go back to their country, we're going to work with them right from the beginning on trying to get them back in legally. Is that right?
A chance to come back.
So it gives you a real incentive. Otherwise, they never come back. They'll never be allowed once a certain period of time goes by, which is probably going to be 60 days. We're also going to work with farmers that if they have strong recommendations for their farms for certain people, we're going to let them stay in for a while and work with the farmers and then come back and go through a legal process. But we have to take care of our farmers and hotels and various places where they need the people. And we're going to be working with you very carefully on that. So a farmer will come in with a letter concerning certain people saying they're great, they're working hard. We're going to slow it down a little bit for them. And then we're going to ultimately bring them back. They'll go out. They're going to come back as legal workers. Okay?
So they can lay on it as well.
And we're going to work with people so that if they go out in a nice way and go back to their country, we're going to work with them right from the beginning on trying to get them back in legally. Is that right?
A chance to come back.
So it gives you a real incentive. Otherwise, they never come back. They'll never be allowed once a certain period of time goes by, which is probably going to be 60 days. We're also going to work with farmers that if they have strong recommendations for their farms for certain people, We're going to let them stay in for a while and work with the farmers and then come back and go through a legal process. But we have to take care of our farmers and hotels and various places where where they need the people. And we're going to be working with you very carefully on that. So a farmer will come in with a letter concerning certain people saying they're great, they're working hard. We're going to slow it down a little bit for them. And then we're going to ultimately bring them back. They'll go out, they're going to come back as legal workers. Okay?
Stop it. Get some help.
Y'all heard, y'all saw that twice, right? So what I don't have to explain it, right? So you heard the man correctly. He is now, you heard this correctly. He is now open to allowing undocumented migrants, illegal aliens, undocumented migrants who work on the farms and who work on the hotels. Now, I've been saying this since he first ran. I used to say to all these people who were saying they're taking our jobs, I would tell them, okay, good job, MAGA keyboard warrior. Well, I guess you want to work in a hotel on February 15th cleaning sheets and swapping out sheets at the hotel, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to be that guy changing crusty sheets on February 15th at the hotel. No, you don't. You don't want to be the guy on some rich dude's roof scraping shingles off in the hot sun. No, you don't. You don't want to be that guy on the farm in 105-degree weather down south. No, you don't. No, you don't. And you know how this happened? When they started deporting and snatching up people who were legally here, guess what? People started not showing up to work on the farms, in the hotels. Guys who own roofing business and hire these people. Some of these people who are working in hotels and stuff, they're on the books. They're paying taxes already. So for him to come in and say, we're going to come up with a program so these people can get documented. Oh, man, I can't wait to hear Ken on this. Oh, my God, First Tuesday. I can't wait to hear Ken talk about this and laughing about this one here. I can't wait. Are you serious, Trump? These people are already here. They're already registered. They're already doing it. They're already paying taxes into our tax back. This is the craziness of this administration. And then these MAGA people, Kiss Gaddy says a program, like a work visa, like, tell us something we don't know, motherfucker. I hate to drop the F-bomb, but sometimes you gotta drop the F-bomb when it's needed. Tell us something we don't know, motherfucker. These people was already here doing this. And you know what's scary is that he's going to do something like this, and then the MAGA peeps are going to be all on social media, the Skip Clays and the William Kevins and Donald Sylvia's on my page. They're all going to come up and say, hey, Trump did this. And Trump's a great guy because he's finding a way to get these people. Stop it. Stop. Oh, my God. You
do something else. Do something else. That's it. That's all we want! Do something else! Holy
do something else! Y'all look fucking stupid! Y'all look stupid as hell! Y'all flip-flopping back and forth and all that shit. This is crazy. This is insane. I'm seeing people out here talking about, ooh, tariffs work. Trump really did this. No, he didn't. He backed off. He backed up. He hit China. China hit him back. He hit China. Xi was like, you can't. Xi was like, you can't play this game with me, Trump. I'm going to hit you We already know how much we are selling through Amazon. We already know how much Temu is bringing in. We already know. We ain't winning this trade war, Trump. We ain't winning it. You need this. This is stop it. It's crazy. It's like being in the Twilight Zone every week. When he came out and he just announced that he plans on allowing undocumented immigrants who work on farms and hotels and contractors to stay in this country as long as they register within 60 days. Motherfucker, they already registered. They're already on the payroll. They already registered. They're already here. They already got work visas, dumbass. But no, you and Tom Homan and Pam Bondi and Christy Noem, y'all been running around this country snatching up innocent people, snatching up people with visas and sending them to places that they don't belong. And now it's really hitting because people ain't showing up to work and hurting the economy. Now you put them tariffs into place. And a lot of those tariffs are coming in on stuff where you have these people working, bro. It's the domino effect. And the MAGA fuck around and find out. Y'all found out. Y'all upset now. Man, we in bizarro world. We in bizarro world. And there's the story right there. Trump floats plan for undocumented farm and hotel. Look, even the news is pissing me off, right? Even the news is pissing me off. All for the last friggin' 2 years when they started, look, they had a chance to pass a bipartisan bill before Biden lost the election. They had a chance to pass that bill. And Donald Trump and his MAGA caucus killed that bill so they could run their whole effing campaign on illegal immigration. Now, all of a sudden, Trump's plan for undocumented farm and hotel workers. You spent the whole 2 effing years calling these people illegal immigrants. Now all of a sudden, they're undocumented farm workers, which is what I've been debating with people on my page. Coming here in this country is not a criminal offense. It's a civil infraction. Not a criminal offense. It doesn't make you a criminal. So now we want to use the correct terminology because Trump's getting his ass kicked on tariffs. Trump's getting his ass kicked because the people who paid money to get him into office are hurting because their workers aren't showing up to work. Now all of a sudden they're going to become undocumented farm workers and be able to work legally in this country and not be touched. Yet you all just 8 months ago, you were bashing Biden and Harris for allowing people to do the same exact damn thing. See how crazy that is? See how crazy you all are, the MAGA? Oh my God, stop it. Stop it. Man, 8:59. Good show. Thank you, Veana Marie, for coming on the show. Thank you, RemiTV, for coming on the show. Thank you, Lovern Gourdin, for coming on the show. Thank you for everybody supporting and helping me out with this show. It is, I love it. Those are the beanies. Let me get these up here for you guys. Boom. We got to get ready to get out of here. It's 9 o'clock, but there is no turnbuckles and spilt liquor. But it's a good show. Good show tonight. Good 2 hours. Wow, surprising. The shows I produced: Drafting the Circuits, MattieC Sports, Oscar Mike Radio, Fubar Studios, Homeland Hero Salute Podcast, Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor Podcast. Also, I help out with Monkey Wrench Wellness, helped out and get that going. Also, You Are the Star Karaoke every first Friday, 7 p.m. We will be back there on May 2nd. Also, open for lunch and dinner. Kids eat free Monday through Wednesday at Brockton Beer Company, 121 Main Street. And then the Emerge career, that's exactly what I was just talking to Lovern Gourdin about. And I was also talking with, I think I did mention it during my interview with Remi. Journey Church in Kentucky, Hodgetown, Thursdays, 3 p.m., 3 to 6, Sundays 10:30. Also Sunday Wake and Bake, 20% off all pre-rolls every Sunday, 10 to 1. They had their I think it's this weekend, they have their 1-year anniversary. And don't forget, 420 is this weekend. Bishop's Training and Fitness, Stay Young Fitness, the Saturday program. Apply now, get your kids down there. Great coaching, learn from a pro. Also, there's a meat raffle this weekend to support Kevin Walsh, the boxer. Help him become Brockton's next world champion, April 19th, 3 p.m. All the meats are from Crossetti's. We've done that before through them. Get down there and take advantage of this event. Also, this weekend, as we said, the RemiTV Influencer Awards. Veana Marie is nominated for Best Female Hip Hop. Also, Wicked Comic Con is this weekend, 10 to 5. A lot of Marvel news coming out. A lot of DC news coming out. Man, great stuff. Also, April 25th. Don't bother me. Don't bother me. 20th anniversary. Anakin, I have the high ground. Stop it. Caton Bike Festival takes place May 17th. That is going to be at the Franklin Park. And then save the date. First annual Book and Ice Cream Festival takes place June 1st. That's going to be at the Dr. Ellie Paris ice cream spot. And all buses are free through June 30th of 2025. I hope this does get extended. I see the thing in the chat again with Chris Gagnon. Program, like a work visa. I'm loving it. I'm freaking loving it. Free yoga. We've got May 14th and 28th, June 11th and 25th, April 9th and 28th. Run the home base, July 26th at Fenway. The 5K run or a 9K walk to support veterans' mental health. RunTheHomeBase.org. And then again, Run the Jewels, Wu-Tang, July. Get your tickets. Broken Chains Biker Church, $20 per ticket. Buy 5 tickets, get a 6th ticket free. You got a chance to win that one right there. Then the Stephen Montero Golf Tournament will take place September 15th. Please reach out to Craig Pina. Stephen Montero Memorial Golf Tournament will take place at the DW Field Golf Course. And then, hey, if you're running for office, get them in. Get them in. It's never too late. Jamal Brathwaite is running for councilor for Ward 6. He's starting his fundraising campaign. So please make sure to get that out here. Get that to me. And then that's it. That's it, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming on the show, hanging out with me, tuning in with us. It's been a good time. Good time. Good time. Good time. Yep. Gonna be back here next week, 7 p.m. I want to thank everybody for tuning in the show, everybody for hanging out. Other than that, I'm super tired. We went 2 hours tonight. SpongeBob, can you do me a favor? Take us. I'm probably gonna end up on next. So, SpongeBob, do me a favor. Take us home.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made it, this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com.
Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.